It sounds a little different. I got the headphones I usually use, and I've been shimmy rigging them for a while now, but they are pretty buggered. So thankfully, I'm getting a new pair for Christmas, so that's nice. Okay, that was a quick cut in the video because Masuda swung on down and twatted the mic. Whoops a daisies. But yeah, anyway, so I got some nice cheapo headphones from the local shop, and they are not very good, but that's fine. They have been serving their purpose in the interim. Anyway, yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while, hasn't it? But that's how I roll. Life has been nothing short of interesting. What else would you expect? We're doing good. Went to that there Palm Springs the other day for a few days. The California one, and there's one in Florida as well, isn't there? But that was my second time going to California, and it's quite nice. My first time going to an American desert town. Yeah, it's another world. We went to Joshua Tree National Park. That's really another world. I grew quite fond of Joshua trees. They're quite a unique looking thing. They're a type of yucca, aren't they? It's like, yeah, yucca meets tree, while still being all yucca. I'm wondering if these guys are waking up yet. There are things in here, but they may be a bit sleepy as yet. Let me have a little look. Let me see. They just came out the fridge, so they might need a little bit longer to wake up. Should I give them a little bit longer? I'll pop them down here. How mysterious, right? But yeah, I liked that in Palm Springs. Not that many young people there, really, I suppose. It's kind of a retirement town. Apparently its population triples in the winter. But there were some younger people, and I liked that the kind of hot topic vibe is still going on in California, because I love that. I love the 90s Jenko wide leg vibe. It's super fun. I still have a pair of Jenkos that I wear from time to time around the house, and sometimes I'll pop out and I'll check the mail with them on, which guarantees that the street will suddenly become busy, so that lots of randos will just happen to see me walking around in my Jenko crime scenes. That's all good. Oh, I see movement in the box of mystery. They are waking up. Oh yeah, several of them moving now. I'll move them up to the microphone in a little bit. Give them a because it was written over a century ago. So, shall I recite it? Let's see if it's still in the old noggin. Okay, it's by Wallace Stevens, and it's called The Emperor of Ice Cream. Call the roller of big cigars, the muscular one, and bid him whip in kitchen cups, concubus, and curds. Let the wenches dawdle in such dress as they are used to wear, and let the boys bring flowers and last month's newspapers. Let be finale of seam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Take from the dresser of deal, lacking the 3 glass knobs, that sheet on which she embroidered fantails once, and spread it so as to cover her face. If her horny feet protrude, they come to show how cold she is and dumb. Let the lamp fix its beam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Love that poem. Now, as I understand it, it took many years, maybe 2 or 3 decades, until people were really kind of able to figure out what in the heck Mr. Stevens was going on about with that poem. I read a good essay on what ended up being the consensus of what he was writing about, which I believe was on the Poetry Foundation website. So you could probably find that if you're peculiar. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you're peculiar, if you're interested. But I also love that it became... people appreciated the poem so much, even if they didn't know what the heck he was going on about, just because of the way he said what he said. Now, Wallace Stevens goes in a lot for the open verse. I think he took great care with his language, so there's open verse and there's open verse in that. And typically I'm kind of a tough nut to crack when it comes to open verse, but not entirely. It can be very affecting, absolutely. But the problem with open verse is it can be how shall I put this? My issue with open verse is that it can be talentless bullshit. However, it can be absolutely wonderful. Now, of course, formal verse can be talentless bullshit as well, but at least you have to bother with a certain specificity of language. There is that. But then, I like light verse anyway. I like doggerel. So, even stuff like E.J. Thrib, 17 and a half in Private Eye, his light verse, his light elegies. I love that stuff. I'm waffling a lot today. Hopefully you're able to fall asleep to this, to my wafflings. But, yeah, I love a bit of light verse. Depending entirely, of course, on whether it's light verse that I like. Okay, yeah, these guys are waking up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try and rest it on the mic and see if they start moving. Can you hear them moving? Problem is, I'm moving the box a little bit on the mic. I'm gonna try and keep it super still. Here we go. Let's see, are they moving? Come on, little guys. Yeah, a little bit of movement. So what we have in here is jumping beans. They're pretty fun. I was meaning to maybe get some to give to families that we're friends with last Christmas, but I left it too late. It was way too flippin' cold to send jumping beans, but this year I remembered in time, and so we have some jumping beans here. So if you're not familiar with them, jumping beans I had them as a kid. I thought they were super fun, but there's a specific area in Mexico where a species of moth is found that in the spring lays its eggs on seeds of a particular plant or tree. I'm not quite sure what it is, but anyway, it lays its eggs. The eggs hatch out, the little caterpillar fella crawls inside, seals itself up in there, and eats the insides for energy, as they do, you know. But then the rains come, as is their wont, and the plant drops its seeds on the ground, and then the rains leave, I guess, as is also their wont, and the sun comes out, and it gets, being Mexico, rather warm, I imagine, and so these seeds would rather be somewhere cool, and so they jump. The little caterpillar fella inside is like, bloody hell, it's a little bit hot around here, and so they start moving, and the seeds jump a little bit until hopefully they find a patch of shade. Who knows what mysterious senses they may have to try and angle themselves towards shade. Maybe it's entirely random. Maybe they're like birds with their awareness of magnetism when they migrate that we can't feel. Maybe they feel shade. Who knows? But anyway, they keep on hopping until hopefully they find somewhere a bit cooler to chill and eventually pupate and come out a moth. Or maybe, if they're really lucky, the poor little bastards end up in the frozen Midwest. They must be thinking, Christ almighty, I jumped too hard. I know I wanted it cool, but this is outrageous. So yeah, as I understand it, it's that they're gonna last longer in their caterpillar stage if you keep them cool, like in the 40 to 50 degrees range. So we've been keeping them in the butter jar of the fridge, and whenever we take them out, they've been waking up just fine. So this book I am tapping on is a hardcover copy of, I don't think it's a first edition, but I don't really care about all that stuff. It is a hardcover. I mean, first editions, sure, I mean, they have a certain inherent coolness to them, but it's not, I don't think. But it's a hardcover copy of The Golden Gate by Vikram Seth. A novel written entirely in Pushkinian stanzas, Pushkinian sonnets. So, Alexander Pushkin, if you're not already aware, was a Russian writer, I hope I'm getting all my facts right here, who wrote the novel Eugene Onegin in Pushkinian sonnets, and that's been translated into English, and a young Vikram Seth read that and thought, yeah, I'll have some of that, and so he wrote The Golden Gate, a novel entirely in Pushkinian sonnets. It is quite wonderful, if you like that sort of thing. By turns comedic, moving. It is an experience entirely in Pushkinian sonnets. So Pushkinian sonnets are 14 lines, as you'd expect, and they have a very specific rhyme scheme, but not only are the rhymes in a set order, but also, whether or not the rhyme is masculine or feminine is dictated based on the line. So a masculine ending with a stress, and a feminine ending without a stress. Like for example, forsooth would be a masculine ending with sooth. What would be a feminine ending? Ending. So, like the stress is on end, not on ing, so that would be a feminine ending. So that's all predetermined for every line as well, whether it's a masculine or a feminine rhyme or end word. Yeah. An incredible achievement. Oh, the screen just paused then. I don't know if the sound paused. I should mention, this phone that I'm using, that I have been using since I started up the channel over 4 years ago, it, much like the headphones, is bloody buggered. So I don't even know if this will be working properly. I hope so. It's been time for a new phone for some years now, probably, but I'm a cheap bastard. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, this is what an incredible achievement. Well done, Vikram. He lives in England now. I think he's originally from India, and now he lives in England in, I forget which poet, an old, long since deceased poet's residence, with a river running through the backyard. Oh, it looks lovely. I've never been. Speaking of writing, I got a dip pen. Excuse me, I got a dip pen, and I was wondering how it would do for mic scratching. Shall we find out? It's got a calligraphy nib on the end though. I was using it for the first time yesterday. It was quite fun. Shall I write your name on the screen? Okay, alright, tell me your name. Got it. That was with certain calligraphic flourishes, you know. That's why it maybe seemed a little bit longer or shorter or just right than usual. Sorry, that was grammatically incorrect, wasn't it? That's why it seemed a little bit longer or shorter or just righter than usual. Now, as I say, I don't have my usual headphones on, so I can't hear this quite as clearly as usual. I think it sounds alright. Alright, shall I very gently lift these jumping beans up again? We'll try one more time, see if we can hear them on the microphone.